Now, at the recent COP26 climate summit in Glasgow, Japan was one of the countries resisting demands for a rapid end to the burning of coal. That may seem strange as Japan has no coal reserves of its own. But Japan is one of the world's biggest coal users, importing more than any other countries in the world except China. Despite that, the government in Tokyo is still promising to reach net carbon zero by 2050. How is that possible? Rupert Wingfield-Hayes has been finding out.
I would say that's a total joke. That's just ridiculous.
Takao Saeki and his fellow activists are furious. The reason? This giant new coal-fired power station being built in their hometown.
I'm totally against the burning the fossil fuel because I'm so worried about the future of the young generation.
I don't understand why we still have to burn coal to generate electricity. These plants alone will emit 7 million tons of CO2 a year.
There are currently 3 of these enormous plants being built around Japan. So how is Japan going to cut its CO2 emissions to zero when these plants are expected to run for the next 40 years at least? The answer is hydrogen. Japan wants to be the first country in the world run on hydrogen, and it's starting with cars. All around the world, big car companies are now talking about the future being battery electric vehicles. Toyota so far has not produced any battery electric vehicles. Instead, it is building this, the Mirai, and this is a hydrogen fuel cell vehicle. It's a very different technology. So why does Toyota think that hydrogen is the future instead of batteries?
We believe we need more choice than just battery electric vehicles. Therefore, fuel cell technology, which uses hydrogen, is also very important in order to achieve our goal of zero emissions.
The only waste the Mirai produces is water. But where does the hydrogen to fill its tank come from? Last month, this ship left Japan and sailed to Australia. It's the first ship in the world that can transport liquefied hydrogen. But that hydrogen is being made from coal. 100 kilometers north of Tokyo, huge mountains of coal, shipped here mainly from Australia. At the moment, Japan imports close to 200 million tons of coal a year. Japan knows it can't carry on doing this, and so instead, it's going to convert the coal to either hydrogen or ammonia in faraway Australia and then ship those here. It's what the industry calls blue hydrogen and blue ammonia. The conversion process still creates lots and lots of carbon dioxide, but that CO2 will not count as Japanese emissions. Instead, in theory, the CO2 will be buried in the ground in Australia.
I'm ashamed of Japan.
Hikari is one of the young activists who filed a lawsuit to try and stop construction of Japan's new coal-fired plants.
I don't think people understand blue hydrogen or blue ammonia. Japanese people do not question. They just believe what they've been told if it's on the news. People will just say, "Oh, I see. That's great."
Japan is promoting its hydrogen society as a zero-carbon alternative to pure renewables. But producing blue hydrogen will mean digging up coal for decades to come. Rupert Wingfield-Hayes, BBC News, in Tokyo.